Every idling engine in rush hour traffic is a drain on the national economy. Because the Philippines relies heavily on imported fossil fuels, the domestic transport sector remains tied to the volatility of global oil markets and geopolitical tensions thousands of miles away. For the average driver on the Skyway or Slex, the obstacle to going electric is a calculation of distance. Range anxiety remains the primary barrier, rooted in the very real fear of running out of power with no public infrastructure in sight. The Department of Energy is now moving to bridge that gap. This map illustrates a planned expansion from the current baseline of 1,600 charging points to a nationwide network of 7,000 stations by 2028. This mandate signals a significant shift in how the nation spends its energy budget. By building out this network, the government is facilitating a massive redirection of capital, moving expenditures away from foreign fuel imports and into domestic infrastructure. Shifting the energy load of millions of daily commutes to the local power grid changes the flow of revenue. It moves the profit historically captured by global oil companies to the domestic utilities and real estate providers who control the charging ground. The true bottleneck stalling this transition is administrative friction. Complex municipal codes and a lack of dedicated pathways stop projects. Developers spend up to 6 months waiting for approvals. Without a streamlined process, physical rollout cannot match market demand. To bypass this, the DOE is collaborating with the DILG and the Anti-Red Tape Authority to issue a joint administrative order. This mandate will force local government units to process building, electrical, and planning permits simultaneously, rather than one after another. This framework is modeled on the recent overhaul of solar net metering approvals. In that sector, a similar joint mandate successfully compressed the processing timeline from 20 days down to just 10. This strategy mirrors a global trend in infrastructure management. In the United States, the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program is utilizing $5 billion to establish a contiguous charging network along key corridors. When the U.S. rollout faced delays, Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy issued revised guidance to simplify state plans and strip away discretionary reviews, ensuring that federal funds are converted into operational stations as quickly as possible. California provided another blueprint with AB 1236, which legally classified charging stations as an administrative accessory use. This removed them from the discretionary zoning process, preventing environmental review lawsuits from stalling construction. Adopting these proven regulatory mandates transforms the Philippine EV sector from a slow-moving planning exercise into a scalable asset class. By removing administrative uncertainty, the government makes the sector ready for heavy private investment. As the permitting window shrinks toward a 10-day target, the investment surge will begin moving into the physical spaces where drivers spend their time. Commercial real estate is the primary beneficiary. Malls, office towers, and residential hubs are positioned to take over the refueling revenue that used to belong to gas stations. They are already seeing EV-ready zoning become a standard in new developments. As shown here, this involves laying electrical conduits and setting aside panel capacity during construction, allowing property owners to install chargers the moment a tenant requests them. The second major shift involves the power grid. High-power Level 3 chargers, like these, create massive sudden electricity demands that strain local utility lines. Utilities manage stress through demand charges, financial penalties for sudden power spikes. Here, a charging session breaches the threshold. To mitigate this, developers integrate battery storage. Deploying stored power when a car plugs in smooths the grid demand and avoids high-cost penalties. Utilities that adopt automated software to manage their interconnection queues will be the ones that capture this new commercial load most efficiently. The evolution of the EV market proves that the long-term yields belong to the entities controlling the ground, the property owners and the utility distributors who manage the flow of power. The Philippine energy market is moving out of the bureaucratic planning phase and into a period of rapid deployment. The consumer interest is already visible. With global manufacturers now offering a wide range of electric models, the hardware is ready. Only the infrastructure remains to be scaled. For those positioning for this shift, the focus is on the foundational assets, the blue-chip utilities upgrading their distribution networks, and the REITs that are currently future-proofing their parking facilities. Institutional capital typically moves during these regulatory shifts, establishing positions in the companies that own the grid and the land before the physical hardware is visible to the public. By stripping away the administrative barriers to installation, the government is aligning the speed of the grid with the speed of private investment. This reform makes the transition to electric mobility a core component of the country's energy and transportation sectors for the next decade.